So, hello, everybody. I am Mom the Manager, Michelle McVitie. I am here as a parenting coach to support you on your journey because children do not come with a manual. And the best part about my job is meeting like-minded professionals that can support you in a different way. Because I can support you with parenting, but a lot of times what I see with parents is that they're feeling stuck, they're feeling overwhelmed, and then you're giving me a parenting plan. I feel like I'm at a 12 out of 10. I'm feeling really defeated. How do I move forward in life and in my parenting? So I'm going to introduce you to Sophia. I'll let Sophia introduce herself because she is the woman for you if you were looking for someone to coach you through that you need that reassurance that I've got this. I'm just not sure how to do it. So welcome, Sophia. Tell me about yourself.
Oh, thank you for that. So I am a confidence mindset coach, and I support women who have faced infidelity, body image issues, as well as, just the self-esteem side and confidence in general. Okay. To move into a space of self-forgiveness and acceptance, to move into, if that's parenting for you or just going after that goal where you're kind of feeling hesitant or stuck, to move past those barriers, to unpack those emotions that can hinder us.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really good point is that we feel stuck. And then it's like, how do we move forward? Why am I really stuck here? How is it that I'm watching other people do it and I'm still in the same spot? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering is why? Why? Because I have been mentored as well. Dr. Maya is one of my mentors, and she's a sociologist at McMaster University. She's the one that pushed me to write my book because she's like, Michelle, why not you? And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, why not me? And she studies this as a sociologist, and she is saying women will take a back seat on things. Whereas men, and this is, there, of course, it's not everybody.
Right.
However, in general, a man, let's say there's a TV spot. Oh, I've been on this job for a year, a week, a month. I'm there. Women, oh, I've been doing this for 20 years. I have a PhD. I have whatever. Oh, I need to lose 10 pounds. I'm not sure if I should be doing this. And we don't put ourselves out there. We don't take the next step. So what is that about? What is that cycle about? Why are we like that, Sophia?
I honestly think it comes down to our
Mm,
past setbacks, guilt, shaming ourselves. If it's the weight and you're like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't, I still need to lose that 20 pounds.
yes.
It could be, just how we sometimes live under somebody else's standards of us. Maybe it's our parents, our grandparents, our partner, whoever it is, right? We kind of just absorb what expectations are kind of put on us sometimes. And that is essentially why we may feel stuck sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that's a great because I think a lot of us were brought up to be a good little girl and just listen, leave your tears for the pillow, make sure everybody is happy, and at the expense of yourself. I am a recovering pleaser,
Mm.
and I actually went to therapy because I needed, and my clinician was amazing at just saying, Michelle, let's look at it in a different way. Now, I didn't necessarily need to go to a social worker. I could have gone to somebody like you as well. So how many times have you dealt with pleasers that are like, I have to do everything for everybody else, and it's so hard for me, I don't feel worthy? Is it common? Do
Oh
you
my
see it a
gosh.
lot?
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
common. And it's funny you say that because I just did a podcast episode on like people pleasing. Um,
Yes.
it's beyond calming. I even have girlfriends that are still sitting in that space of people pleasing, right? And until you come to terms with it, until you come to terms with accepting that this is what you're doing, you're kind of
Yes.
like fogged. You're in like a foggy cloud of just doing, because we are creatures of habit and we're going to continue doing what we're used to doing and putting ourselves second. It's just inevitable.
Yes. So what you're saying is self-awareness
Mm,
is key. So if you don't have the self-awareness,
doesn't matter.
then it doesn't matter. And the other thing too is you can lead a horse to water, you cannot make them drink.
Yeah.
So ready for change. So can you tell me what some of the barriers are for change? Where do you feel like people get stuck? And I don't know if I should do this, you know?
So like you said, right, when it comes to if you awareness, when it comes to awareness, if you don't have
Mhm.
that awareness, you can't make that change. But there's
Yes.
sometimes we get to a point where we're aware of it, but we just don't know what to do. I've
Yes.
sat in that space, not for people pleasing, but in other avenues of my life, even like
Yeah.
as a parent. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know I hate when my child does this. I don't know what
Yeah.
to do with it. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Or you
So
call me. You call me.
well, yeah, I should be calling you sometimes, right? But that's the thing. Like when you don't know what to do, you feel even more stuck.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times that's what it is. The awareness is there, but just not completely sure what to do and what steps to take. Like what
Right.
should my little step be today? And that's kind of
Exactly.
where I coach around. It doesn't have to be this huge, like 360 change. You need to change your life. No,
Mhm.
just do 5% more than you did yesterday because
Mm.
we're a creature of habit. And if you
Mhm.
can just do that little bit more, is it working out? Is it how you speak to yourself?
Mhm.
Is it showing up more engaged? Whatever that may be for you, where you feel
Yeah.
stuck, just do
Right.
5% more today than you did yesterday.
I love that. And it's little steps,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
And those little steps are going to make a huge difference. Plus, there's accountability and someone saying, you've got this. Here are the steps. Now it's up to you to follow through with that. So I think that's amazing. So if we were to say, look, today your challenge is to do something. What would that thing be that you would want the people watching to say, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do this? What would you say would be the first thing to do?
Well, owning it, right? So once
Yeah.
you own it,
Yeah.
then you can work with it. So when you own whatever that challenge is, label
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
literally write it down and
Yeah.
ask yourself, how can I come to terms with this? Like, because there's so much power in questioning, right? When we question
Yes.
ourselves, you're gonna get an answer, but it's
Yeah.
what you say, right? Sometimes we're
Right.
just asking these questions that are just so not empowering, right? So we're not getting the answers that actually move us forward. So once you
Yeah.
own it, label it, and literally spend 10 minutes with yourself and
Yeah.
think, what can I do to come to terms with this issue? And that
Yes.
just might be, embracing some compassion for yourself, right? Because our
Yes.
inner critics will always try to sabotage us one way or another. We can't get away from that. And
Yeah.
they creep in, right? To remind us, oh, maybe you're not worthy enough. Like, no, you're not good enough for this. Why are you trying like to push us back? So just having some compassion and
Mhm.
moving into a space of forgiveness, right? So if you've gotten to a point where you're constantly criticizing yourself or just bashing yourself, make some space to forgive yourself for that. And
Mhm.
that is literally just coming to, I love you,
Yeah.
reminding yourself that you love yourself and do it in front of the mirror. Because a lot of
Mhm.
times, us women, we have negative conversations with ourselves in front of the mirror about our bodies. So
Mhm.
if that's just saying, oh, use my name, I love you, Sophia, I hear you, I see you, I can feel you, and just coming to that space of stillness
Yeah.
and just see what happens. And if you can embrace just that one activity every day for 3 minutes, standing in front of the mirror. I'm such a big um, preacher around like mirror work, but it's
Yeah.
truly can change your life if you're consistent and you
Right.
regularly do it.
I love that. And that self-compassion, I preach that as well because there's no self-care, there's no planning, there's none of those things because you don't feel worthy. So to be able to move forward, that's the first step. And I love the mirror work. I've also done letters with, I haven't done mirror work, but I've done letters. So writing a letter of forgiveness to yourself, because earlier you did say there are things that have happened, like even infidelity, for example, where you think, here is the proof. I've done something wrong. I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
And we hear these messages from our family, from teachers, from friends, from people in our past,
Yeah.
right? And even for ourselves, we start to then say that. So our inner critic, what can we say to boss it back? And what is that letter of forgiveness? And starting to release that can feel very vulnerable, can feel a little scary. So having someone like you that's there to validate that emotion, to say, this is your path
Yeah.
and this is okay. Like that you are allowed to have this emotion. And of course you would feel this way because of whatever happened in your past or because this happened. And then how do we help you move forward? Right. So that's really empowering. So tell us a little bit about you and how we can find you. And yeah, let me know.
Yeah, so I have an Instagram and it's aim for the number 4 and then the letter U consulting. And if you take that aimforyou.com, that's my website. So you can find me there, as well as I've created a podcast that I'm so passionate about. And I'm touching on topics from infidelity, self-acceptance, mindset, you name it. I'm kind of just bringing it all to the table.
Yeah.
And with that podcast, it's called Aim the Number 4 You Ladies. So you can find that podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
I love it. I can't wait to tune in and I can't wait to be a guest. So
You will.
It has been wonderful speaking with you. We are, moving forward. We are breaking cycles. We are saying yes to ourselves and not feeling guilty about it. And if we're feeling guilty, we're working through that emotion and going the next step. So self-awareness, self-compassion, reaching out to get support, taking those steps forward, and forgiving yourself. Thank you so much, Sophia. That was amazing. And we will be seeing you again. We'll be sure to add all the links and have a great day.